All right, folks, you have now determined the identity of your tree and you are almost ready to record that on Project Budburst. But the first thing that we need to remember is that it's not just the identity of the plant that we're concerned with, we also need to know its phenophase. So Budburst has two tabs that you are most interested in. One is the Plant ID tab. This gives you a set of resources to identify your tree. Abigail and I have already found that there are 3 apps that we'd like you to use. One is Picture This, not listed here, and the other 2 are, the first one is Seek by iNaturalist, which is free on iPhone, and the second is Plant Snap, which although has a cost here is also free. All of these apps have been verified and are very, very useful in identifying plants. The other way to identify your tree is using the What Tree Is That key, just like we did in the demo. This key is online and you can find it right here at this link. Once you've identified your plant successfully, the next thing that you'll want to do is identify its phenophase. But how do we do that? Well, Budburst has 5 different plant groups that it collects data from. Wildflowers and herbs, deciduous trees, which change color in the seasons, conifers like pines or cypress, and evergreen trees like oak, which don't change in the season but still remain green and have broad leaves rather than pines or needles. The last category is grasses, and each of these have specific phenophases that Budburst is interested in recording. Once you've identified your plant, the next thing that you want to do is identify its phenophase. Let's start with conifers, since that's what the Monterey cypress is. Here you have a life cycle phenology status. This is not the kind of observation we'll be making today. We're just going to be recording a one-time observation. The useful thing though is that there are many, many pictures here describing what each phenophase looks like. First pollen, middle pollen, and first ripe fruit or cones. So you can see that there are plenty of photos here that can help you identify what phenophase you're in. But what do you do when you're ready? Well, you're going to go to the one-time phenology status to see if you can identify which phenophase your plant is in. So you're going to look at needles, none, no new needles are emerging, etc., all the way through middle. And then look at pollen, no pollen is falling, and fruit, no ripe fruit or cones. Going back to our pictures of cypress, we can see that there are bright green needles emerging. And it doesn't seem like there are only a few of them. It looks like many new needles have emerged. So let's go ahead and write down somewhere that we're in a middle needle phenophase. Now what about pollen and fruit? Well, it doesn't appear that any pollen is falling, but there are cones on the tree. The question is whether or not they're ripe. If you look closely at the photos, you can see that all of those photos include cones that are closed. If this is true, then none of the cones are ripened yet. So we can list none, no ripe fruit or cones. So that's it. Once you've identified your tree, you just classify it according to the 5 groups on Project Budburst website and scroll all the way down past the pictures, unless you need them for help, to the one-time phenology status. Here you'll find a list of phenophases, and you can use this to identify your plant. Alright folks, you have gone outside and found a tree, and you've also identified both the tree type and its phenophase using this tab here, the Plant tab. But now what? Well, you need to log in, given that you're pretty sure about your identification, and go ahead and record a one-time observation. Congratulations, you are officially a citizen scientist. So come here and hit the login button, and we're going to use a universal login today. The student username that you will apply is just mschool, and the password is 2020 Budburst with 2 capital B's, B-U-D, capital B-U-R-S, and instead of that last T, you've just got a 7. Hit the login. After a moment, you'll see that I've already made one observation here, with this plant, the Echium candidans, also right outside my house. You're going to create a new observation though, using a new one-time observation. Just going to walk you through it. It'll take you to the Submit a One-Time Observation page, and the first thing you'll want to do is upload your photos. Hopefully these are photos of the entire plant. This helps the Budburst scientists verify your data. If you only have sketches, that's just fine. Go ahead and upload them here. The next thing you'll do is record the kind of plant you observed. It's possible that it already exists in their menu, or like me with my flower, you'll have to identify it on your own. You'll just type your name and select option or press enter. The next thing you'll want to do is record where you made your observation. You can give the closest address or add a latitude and longitude. Don't bother giving the plant location a nickname. You're not going to be returning to this plant, so there's just no need. The next thing you'll want to do is write down when you made your observation, and then also, once you've included the type of plant, it will open up the option for you to record the phenophase. Ideally, you'll also include any notes that you have for the scientist. This will help them make sure that the data that you've included is real. And that's it. Once you've made all of these entries, you'll just click Save Observation. And right now, it's pretty mad since I left the entire thing blank. But I know that when you submit it, it will add the observation to the MSchool account. And that's it.